Hello everyone, this is David Smith from Game Careers. I'm at GDC in San Francisco, and I'm very pleased to have with me Richard Rouse, Senior Game Designer from Microsoft Studios Publishing. Richard, please can you introduce yourself?
Sure, I'm Richard Rouse. I am a Senior Game Designer at Microsoft Studios, working with a bunch of interesting development partners to bring their games to the Xbox and to other Microsoft platforms.
Tell us a little bit more about Microsoft Studios Publishing.
So we're actually the group within the big Microsoft IEB structure that takes games that we don't develop ourselves, but we work with different partners to sort of make those games as good as possible and make them showcase different unique features that the Xbox has, whether it's live or connect or something of that nature. So we really see it as a real partnership with our developers and just trying to sort of up the quality and make these things games that could only shine on Xbox.
And tell us about your role at Microsoft and perhaps how you came to be working at Microsoft in the first place.
Well, I've only been at Microsoft for about a year now. I've been in the industry for a long time. I actually started out doing really small Macintosh games, we might call indie games these days, but they were just small games back then. Worked on those for a few years. I worked at a company in Seattle called Surreal Software for a number of years. I was the studio creative director there, worked on the Suffering games there. Since then I worked for THQ and Ubisoft, and an opportunity came up at Microsoft with some people I'd worked with before, and it looked like a great opportunity to work on some really innovative, unique stuff.
And I know you're based in Redmond, Seattle, at the main Microsoft campus. Why would you say Microsoft is a great place to work?
Yeah, well, it's definitely the biggest company I've ever worked for throughout all the different places I've worked. So we've got Microsoft as a whole has something like 90,000 employees in the Puget Sound area. So that includes the entire large chunk at least of the games division, but also people who work on Office, people who work on the Xbox platform, people who work on things like the Surface. So it's interesting at some of these company events to meet all these different groups and also to sort of be able to knowledge share with these groups and work with people like the Microsoft Research Division that's doing all of this unique, future-reaching research that maybe they haven't found an application for, but we're able to take a piece of it and put it into a game or something like that. So it's really a unique experience to be working for a group that big and that really values, trying to push technological boundaries as much as Microsoft does. And
is Seattle a great place to both to live and to work?
Yeah, Seattle's, having lived there twice now, this is our second time. We really like the climate. That's a lot of people complain about the rain, but it's not quite so bad as all that. And it's just a great sort of very outdoorsy space. Lots of great mountains and outside stuff you can do. And also Seattle being a good-sized city, gets a lot of entertainment options and things like that. It's just a really interesting and evenly balanced place to live, and we certainly enjoy it.
And great. Finally, Richard, what advice would you give a job seeker looking to apply for a job with Microsoft?
In my group specifically, we tend to hire people who've been in the industry for a while, but then also pair them up with people we get through what we call the college hire program, and that includes people who get internships over the summer or are hired right out of college. And when you're hired into that program, you actually do a rotation through several different companies within Microsoft Studios. So that's one of the cool things about coming to work for Microsoft is you can go work at Turn 10 for a few months and then go work in my group Studios Publishing and then go work at 343 on some Halo thing. And you can rotate through these different groups as you're coming out of college and really figure out what you think is a good fit for you, and then get to pick one of those to stay at after that. So it's a pretty cool program. I encourage people to check that out. And Microsoft as a company definitely has a culture of wanting to get new talent in straight out of college when possible. Certainly we also look, such as myself, I worked many places before coming to Microsoft, so we value experienced people who've worked in a number of different places and can really work with our partners and bring a lot of their own experiences to the table to help make games great.
Great. Richard Rouse, Senior Game Designer from Microsoft Games Publishing. Thank you very much.